Okay guys, it's May 31st. We're right at 8 in the evening. It's probably my new favorite drink. Crushed strawberry. If you haven't never tried that, I highly recommend it. Guys, I haven't made a video in a while, but I'm still here. Still working on the doors, doing the metal work. And you guys may remember this skin here. This is the passenger side skin. This is actually the one that I had fall off of a stand last year and put actually 3 really nice dents in it. And I've been working on getting those dents out. I've also been doing some work on the Dodge Ram doors that belong to my future son-in-law. It's pouring down rain outside, so I apologize for the noise. Had to run outside, I'm soaking wet now. But I didn't film a lot of this metal work, and the reason being is I'm just now getting my feet wet on using the hammer and dolly and using the spoon and various tools to pull dents. And sometimes I pull the metal the wrong way. I'm learning to go real slow and make checks as I make progress and adjust accordingly. It's a patience builder for sure. And I like the way it's turning out. I wish there's a few places on this skin I wish was a little bit better, but I'm at the point now to where I think it's as good as I can get it with the way it is in its current state, meaning it's just a flimsy piece of sheet metal, and I might be able to move the metal a little bit better once it's actually folded onto the frame. It'll have some shape to it, and I believe I'll be able to move the metal a little bit more then. But let's take a look at it. So like I was saying, this is the skin here that took a dive on me back last year. And it was a huge dent right here. This is actually where the skin hit on the floor right here. And it pushed this whole area in probably about 1/4 of an inch. And then this actually landed on the stand, and so did this. Now, I actually took this over to a good friend of mine's to help me raise this part up, and we got it really good. It follows the contour all the way down. Before, you guys may remember, it was up about like that. And basically we used the concrete floor as a dolly, and we just kept working this edge all the way down. Now, this had a pretty nasty dent in it, and I was able to get it out, but in doing so I actually stretched the metal and had it oil cannon. I got it tightened back up. I actually used a welder in a few spots to tighten it back up, which I don't recommend that, but that's what I did. That's before I had a shrinking disc or a shrinking tip for my stud gun. And overall, it's pretty decent. I mean, it's going to take a swipe of filler for sure, just a tight wipe. I mean, blocking may get it. It still doesn't feel like this part of the panel. I mean, I can still feel some really small highs and lows in there. You can even see just a few of the shinier pieces of the metal there. But like I said, I messed with it enough that I've stretched it and I've got it back now. And I think it's going to be as good as I can get it. Okay, YouTube, I did work on this just a little bit more. And this is about as good as I can get it, guys. It is close, but it's still got some real minor lows in it. You can see a little bit of light there, and then as I come down, You can see a little light on the other side there. But even over here, you can still see some light. And when you run your hand across it, it feels pretty decent. I can still feel a few lows, and of course you can see the lows with the Sharpie Magnum. And when you sight down it looks like a river, to be honest with you. I wish I could get this a little bit better. I guess that's what they make filler for. And we'll see what it blocks out in epoxy. Epoxy may be all it needs. But overall, it looks pretty good from what we started with. It had a real nasty dent in here. And like I said, I'd like to be able to get it to where it was like it was originally, but it's about as good as I can get it. So the next step on the door skin will be to put the pins in, and then we're going to apply another fresh coat of epoxy to the underside of it. I've already done some sanding, and just where I've been drilling the holes and hammering dollying on this skin, I want to touch up the epoxy that's on the underside. So here's a look at that area that I've been working on the back side. You can also see this area right here. I had this area oil canning as well, but we got that out of it. And I went ahead and I've sanded. I still need to clean it again and do a final sand. Going to tape up this bed liner here. Just tape it up, and we're just going to spray the perimeter here in the white epoxy. We'll get a fresh coat of epoxy on there before we actually put the skin on. I did take this bracket off of the old driver's side skin. When you get the driver's side skin, it has this bracket on it, the new ones. But I reused this original bracket and put it on the passenger side, and I had it all the way up here in the same position as it was on the driver's side. But actually when I set it on the frame, it made contact with the frame, so I wound up just zipping it off right there and got my clearance back. So that's something to note if you try to do that. I think there was just screws inserted in it from the factory, and then over time, you know, your mirror would get loose. But now it's got the bracket with the threaded holes, so we should be good to go there. So like I said, the next step will be to put the molding studs on, and then we'll get our epoxy on. We'll prep these holes here with some weld-through primer. I've already drilled those. And I may have went a little too much on some of that, but I've got 4 on this side and basically 4 on this side. They're probably about every 4 or 5 inches, which I can't remember on the factory one when I took it apart, but it didn't seem like it was that many. But I went ahead and while I was here, just put a little bit on. We're gonna go old school on this. Gonna fold it over and weld it. We're not gonna use the panel bond for the actual bonding method. We're gonna use the welder, and then of course this part of the door just gets welded to the frame. Now these, I did mark the frame. I've got plenty of pictures on where my welds go, and so these are pretty much in the exact same location as the originals was, all the way across there. So once we get this folded over, and get it welded, it should be solid. We'll fold it over first. We'll get it on the car. We'll make some adjustments, and then we'll lock it down with a welder once we like it. So there she is, sitting back on the frame. And for all you new subscribers, this is mainly practice for the driver's door. The driver's door is really the one I need, but I'm hoping that this actually turns out good and able to use it as well. This passenger door here that's on the car now, it seems like it's actually a good door. You guys have seen this tool on Roger's channel, Mr. Fireman 164. He's always showing me things that I just gotta have, spending my money. Nah, I like this tool. This is an awesome tool. But I've been over this thing quite a bit, and this is actually a good door. So we could use this door. Now, there is a little bit of filler in this corner. In this corner, right here, most of the time on these second gens, if there's any rust in the door, it's going to be right here. And this is no exception. It's got 1/16. So there's been something done in there. Okay, so looking at the inside of this door, you can see where there's been a little something done right in this area. But it still doesn't look bad. A little seam sealer, and that would go over really good. But before I use this door, I would take all this off and just see what we got. Still getting sand out of it. But it's got a 1/16 inch right there. And it's good right there. It's good there. It's good. It's good. So that door is a usable door. And most likely, if I wind up using this door on Project OverKill, then we'll most likely use this door on the 81. Now the inner structure is a little bit different, and I've got a spare passenger door that we can use the inner structure out of. We'll just, it's right there around the door handle area. That area right there is just a little bit different on the 81. And we can make that work. It wouldn't be a problem, but actually the door panels are already done for this car here. Over here on the Ram door, it turned out pretty decent. There was a few places that I thought were dents, but it was actually just in the primer. And once I got to the metal was actually okay. There was 3 places like that. Now these other places were pretty bad. I spent most of my time around this door handle, and I put it back in there just to test it. There was a crease, and you can still see a hint of it, that ran all the way through here and come in all the way here. You can actually see where something scraped the door handle through there as well. So it was a pretty rough dent here. And this panel, it's got a curvature to it. It's not flat. It's flat this way, but it's got a roll in it. As you can see. But this turned out really nice. Very happy with the way this turned out. And these were just simple dings in the metal. Some of them was pretty good. Like this one it had a crease in it going all the way, I think it was this way. But that feels really good. It looks really good. These were just simple dings. Very happy with the way this door turned out. And again, I use these same tools that Roger, Mr. Fireman, showed. And on my creases, I really like this stud lever. You can get a lot of leverage with it. It allows you to use it, check your progress with your straight edge. It works really good. You guys have seen him use that several times. And then this is a tool that I tried out. It's called the Shoot Suit. I really liked it on, say, a door ding. Say it was just the door ding was just concentrated in one small area, because this would go around it, and then your pin would go in, and then you could just work on lifting the mantle a little bit at a time and then check your progress. It worked really good on small dings. So guys, I didn't bring you along for the repair on this one, but not to worry. We still have the driver's side door down there in the building, and we got to get it up here. It's got to be done the same way. I'll bring you along for that one. But first we got to get this one ready for paint. There's a repair in the seam that we have to make. I will bring you along for that. I'm going to cut some of the fold out of the skin and make a repair, and we'll do a little blasting, and we'll do some stripping on this door. We'll get it in epoxy and just see how actually straight it is, and then we'll do our body work from there. But like I said, once I get to the driver's side door, I will film it, because I've got a little bit of a feel, a little bit more knowledge on what I'm doing now with the tools. And that's pretty much an update for you. Still here, still working, and still knee deep indoors. So appreciate everybody following along, and when I have a little bit more progress, I'll be back online.